We start the evening off with team coverage of a breaking news story tonight as cellular outages continue to impact people around the country and within our viewing area. Newswatch anchor Serena Davanzo and Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill are both standing by live with the details. But first, the background. AT&T was hit the hardest. The companies that use its service reported roughly 100,000 people without service. Some Verizon and T-Mobile customers have also reported disruptions, but both companies say that their networks aren't experiencing an outage. It's likely their customers have had issues trying to connect to those on the AT&T network. AT&T says it is aware of the issues and is working to restore service. This outage has had impacts on the local area. For more on that, we head out to Newswatch anchor Serena Davanzo, who is standing by with more details. Serena?
Thanks, Tiger. According to the Deputy Director of the Raleigh County Emergency Services, the outages started about 4 a.m. and mostly affected Verizon and AT&T users, but more specifically iPhone users, as Androids were not affected. They are receiving updates from the phone companies about the status of services being brought back to users. He explained what people can do to help with this in the future.
Most people doesn't have a landline telephone anymore in their homes. But however, it's always a good practice to have another phone source in your house, either via VoIP phone or a landline from Frontier or another phone provider. We always preach have a backup to the backup. Again, I can't stress enough, if you need to dial 911 or need 911 service, please pick up a landline phone or another phone service provider to do so. And we can guarantee you that your help will get to where you need to go.
As of now, phone services are slowly returning back to users across the country.
All right, now Serena, what else are you hearing from other counties?
Well, Tiger, Greenbrier County Emergency Services said they have gotten mixed reports, with some phones being fully functional and others are not. And Mercer County Emergency Services suggests putting on the Wi-Fi calling feature on your phone. Newswatch will keep you updated as we learn more. Tigra?
All right, thank you so much, Serena. I appreciate it. The cause of the outage is still being investigated. However, we know now that it was not caused by solar flares like some were initially suggesting. Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill is live at the weather wall to break that down. Chad, what did you find out?
Exactly. The NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center has indicated early this afternoon that the outage was not caused from a solar flare. There were two of them. Last one about this time yesterday and one very early in the morning. These solar flares can disrupt communication systems, but they have determined that the outage was not due to these two solar flares. Now, we are in a very high energy, solar energy cycle 25, so we are going to continue to have these solar flares going through the next 2 years before we peak at this solar cycle 25. So chances are we will continue to have more solar flares and they will continue to impact communication, but the one that impacted the cell phones today and over the last 24 hours was not caused by the most recent solar flare, and that is the latest from the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. Tiger?
Thank you, Chad. AT&T is still working to restore service, and people are beginning to report that their phones are working again. There is no word yet on the cause or what the company is doing to fix the problem. The Federal Communications Commission will likely launch an investigation. So, what should you do if you are experiencing an outage? Well, here are a few steps. First, make sure that Wi-Fi calling is turned on in your phone settings. This will allow you to make calls when you are connected to a Wi-Fi signal. Search your settings to find the option to turn it on. We also have a guide from most major providers over on WOAY.com. If you need to contact 911, you can text instead of calling. Another important thing to do, monitor local television and radio news. That way you can stay informed of any new developments. And lastly, have a backup plan for where you can access a landline phone. If you need help and can't reach 911 via your cell phone, you should be able to make a call using a landline. We are continuing to follow this story and we will keep you updated.